Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? Brother Nash, I want to confess to you that even though I am a pastor, but I traveled to South Africa like a very long time ago, but it was part of a deal that I had with this other group which I joined and had to travel to Ghana. This happened when I was still very young, at the age of 23. Right now I am 42 years old, so I got married to my wife, my South African wife, without ever meeting her. I only got to meet my wife on our wedding day. Strange it is, but it really happened. You can call me Tinashe. I am a pastor and I do lead a very small church. We don't care about having these mega churches because as for us, unlike other pastors that are fake, we do not care about the money that people bring to church. But what we care for is their souls. If I can win only one soul for the devil, that is like winning 1,000,000 souls. So a soul that has been gained by the devil is like 1,000,000 souls that have gone to heaven. So we really do not care about money because we are given what we want whenever we need it. I have been doing this for the past decade. I have stood in front of our community church preaching the word of God, promising blessings here and there. When I see the need, I call upon the name of Beelzebub, our God, so that he can come and heal them. I come to you as a man today who needs to confess his sins, helping other people out there. Do not just rush to church like you are a sheep. When you are in church, you need to have your eyes open up. I just wanted to run like an experiment to see the level of misunderstanding that so-called Christians have. I once had an image of our God Beelzebub in church. No one even questioned, because if you are a Pentecostal Christian, any image that is put in church, you are supposed to question. Even if it is the image of the founder of the church, you need to ask, why is this image in the temple of the Lord? Is there any need? Do you think when the children of Israel were in the desert, when they were walking around with the tabernacle, they had the images of Abraham inside the Holy of Holies? No, they did not do such things. But in this generation, we worship men rather than worship the one that made you. So to run this experiment, I had this picture made, dedicated it to our king, our prince, our god Beelzebub, and then I put it in church. Everyone could see it. All that they saw was a very handsome, beautiful angel with these beautiful white wings, but behind it I had written, in honor of Beelzebub. There was not even one person that tried to question the reason as to why we had this image of an angel right there in front of the church. So I hope that other Christians out there, the so-called Christians, are going to have their eyes wide open, not to sleep, not to be in slumber anymore, for the end days, for they are here. When you hear this confession, know that the end days, they are almost here. So I joined this occultic group. I was a struggling street preacher here in Harare, and my ministry was small and my pockets were empty. So when we had a conference, I was then invited to South Africa, where I ended up meeting my future father-in-law, and then we went to Ghana. Going to Ghana, I did not even know that I would return back as an occultic pastor. There, that was when we visited the preacher. He had everything that I desired. He had money. He had a very big mega church. He looked at me and other men that he had selected, even though we did not know that we had been selected, each from his own country, across Southern African countries. He looked at us and he said, "Here I see young men, and you need to know that God will only help those that help themselves. If you are ready to sacrifice for greatness, come, let us enter into the secret room And then we went into that secret room. This man then told us that this was the beginning of a long journey and the beginning of secrets of this world being revealed to us, but we needed to sacrifice. So we returned back to our countries. Those that came from countries that were a little bit better, they were able to raise the money as quickly as possible, like my father-in-law. As for me, it was very difficult. I ended up stealing cattle from my own grandmother so as to raise enough money. A month later, after I had sold the little things that I owned and also stealing from my grandmother and joining up with this other group that used to steal from people late at night, and I found the money and I traveled to Ghana. And then I was taken into the inner room. It was a dark room, and before me there was an altar that was covered in blood. This was fresh blood. From where this blood came from, no one knew except for the high master. At the center of the altar there stood a small golden statue of a demon. At that time I was calling it a demon, but not anymore, because the secrets of the universe have since been revealed to me. Beelzebub is an equal god, for there are 12 gods like the signs of the zodiac, even though there was one god that was killed, who was the 13th sign of the zodiac. So Beelzebub is our prince. He is also an equal god. The same power that Yahweh has, that is the same power that Beelzebub has, but he deals with power and riches. As for Yahweh, he deals in creation and protection. So if you can serve these masters, sometimes you can make it. But I was then told that it is wise enough for me to serve only one master, but I had to sacrifice something that was dear to me. At first, I thought they meant material possessions like I had done, but they were clear that I had to shed blood for my first sacrifice. They demanded a close friend. I was horrified, but I wanted to become rich. I betrayed my best friend, setting him up to be killed in a staged car accident. That night I cried, but the next very day my life began to change. Money started flowing in. As for my mom, one thing about her, she had a chronic disease. The pact did not end there. I was told that the prince was not satisfied with the blood of my friend, for the blood was crying out unto his own God that he died believing in. For the blood was boiling when Beelzebub tried to drink from his cup, and he said he needed more fresh blood. That was when things took a dark turn. By then, I was already residing in South Africa, and I received a message from one of the occultic leader, and I was told that my God was angry at my sacrifice and he had not accepted my sacrifice. So my life was cut short, for my life was no longer my own. It belonged to the god Beelzebub. I lived through the years. Then 2 months ago, I then received another message, and I was told that my time is almost up. So my covenant is nearing its end, and if I want to extend my life, I have to make more sacrifices. 2 to be precise. A woman who will be aged 23 and a woman who will be aged 27, they have to die. Their blood will be collected, and it is going to be used to renew my covenant, adding years to my life. I was given a deadline. I had until the end of this month to find the women and perform the ritual, but there was something that happened in the heavens, and that deadline was extended. I'm still waiting, even though I know that the deadline to my death is fast approaching, and I have to do this. I am going to look for these women. With money, anything is possible for me, so as to sacrifice them. Dear listeners, right there was a message, a translation of a message that was sent to me by our brother right there, hoping that you were able to understand this translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Yo.